everybody, it's Ellen O'Neill, your Charleston real estate broker. I just love where I live, and what an honor it is to help other people move to this beautiful area. As a real estate broker, I often hear people say, Ellen, how's the real estate market in Charleston these days? So what I've done is I've prepared monthly videos for market updates for you to learn about what's happening in the real estate market across the country and here locally. In addition, if you're interested in seeing several videos about living in Charleston and all that Charleston and the surrounding communities has to offer, I'd highly suggest that you check out my website, ellenoneillrealty.com, or look at my YouTube channel or my professional Facebook page. As I said, I love living in Charleston and I love sharing what the Charleston experience is like. And today I'd like to share with you some more information about what's happening in our hot real estate market. If you or anybody you know has a real estate need, I'm a phone call away and would be very privileged to help. The problem of low inventory that we've been discussing for months continues to be a problem across the nation and here in our local market. This graph shows the year-over-year comparison by month of the low inventory compared to the amount of homes for sale this time last year. Keep in mind, even last year we had low inventory. So to see that it's lower this year than it was same time in 2017 shows you we really have a shortage. What we don't have a shortage of is buyers. In looking at this graphic, you can think about the fact that spring always brings out many buyers. People love to move in the spring and summer months. Looking at February of 2018, we had more buyers looking at houses than we did at the height of the season last year. So the demand for housing is very, very strong, despite the fact that inventory remains critically low. This graph really puts it all together. When we look at each month compared to the year before, we see in every instance, December, January, and February, that the buyer demand is higher than it was the year before, yet the inventory is lower than it was the year before. Please notice, though, it appears that the gap between the supply and demand is narrowing, and that can be a really good sign for the future. Looking at local sales data here in the Charleston area, we are still in a seller's market. 6 months of inventory is considered a balanced market, and since we are in the 3.5 month range, clearly we don't have the inventory to keep up with the buyers that are looking to make moves here in the Charleston area. It is interesting to note that new inventory is coming onto the market. This chart of new listings shows the increase in listings here in the Charleston area, which is very encouraging. We are headed into the spring home buying season, so it is not a surprise to see that the number of listings is increasing, but we need the inventory desperately, so let's hope that this trend continues. Housing prices have continued to rise steadily in the area, and that is simply the result of a high demand with low inventory. People are still asking, are we looking at a housing bubble? And I still am saying that no, we are not. When we look at the industry experts' predictions of what's going to happen in the coming year, you will see the vast majority agree. Houses are expected to appreciate in value. There is very, very little evidence of any depreciation in sight. And this is continuing in the future. When we look at the projected growth in home values, we will see that every year for the coming several years, we're looking to see an increase in values. Take a good look at this chart. You see that the appreciation rate is slowing, but don't confuse that to mean that homes are depreciating, because that is not the case. In 2018, we're looking at a 4.2% increase in home values across the nation. And then for each of the following 4 years, we're looking at appreciation of over 3%, 3% or better, which is a very normal rate of appreciation and very sustainable. Interest rates are always a hot topic, and yes, we have noticed this year that interest rates are climbing as expected and predicted. Looking at the projections for what will happen with mortgage rates as the year progresses, we see that the rates are now in the mid fours, still historically low, but they are climbing. By year's end, there is the opportunity for rates to go as high as about 5%. And there are several people that feel that this will limit the spending power of a purchaser. If you analyze this table carefully, you'll see the impact of rising interest rates on a person's total monthly payment and interest paid over the course of a 30-year loan. Clearly, it behooves any buyer to make a purchase before the rates climb drastically. No, we are not predicting that the rates are climbing to 6.5% anytime soon. This is just to show the impact of rising interest rates over time and why it makes sense for somebody who's looking to make a purchase to act sooner rather than later.